Hello everyone, we are back with episode 4 of my craft supply and craft space reorganization series. Today we are working in this cabinet in my entryway. If you'll remember it from the tour, I already have the doors open, but it's just this antique sideboard. And it is currently holding, we have paint over there on the left. That's one of those IKEA bins. I have some projects in here, but the reason why we're sort of skipping finishing up the ribbon, because you're probably saying, well, what happened to the ribbon drawer that you were working on, Julie? The reason why we're skipping over here is because I need those bins over here on the right hand side. Trying to do all of the reorganization without buying lots of new containers and things until I really see where everything is going to live and see if it makes sense to add some different containers. So I need those plastic bins. So that's why we're jumping over here today. And then we're going to circle back around to the ribbon in the next episode. And also, I had a thought this week, I guess taking things at a slower pace. Ideas are popping into my head, and yesterday I thought this would be a great location to store all of my extra glues. They were just taking up space in that big cabinet, and they were in front of those little IKEA drawer units like this. And I was constantly moving them or pulling them out or putting them on the table when I needed to get into the drawers. There really isn't a good spot over there. So I thought, genius idea. Let's also, in addition to paint, let's keep glue in here. So I pulled out a couple things. I think my thought process is that this would also be a good spot for maybe projects to get them completed. So that little wooden thing and that paper, that's actually a project, something super cool that I picked up at Savers like many years ago. And I want to give that a little makeover because I think it's so cute. So I thought it would be fun maybe to put it over by the phone or somewhere in the kitchen to take notes or keep it on my craft desk. So I think that's going to go in there. So let's go over to the ribbon drawer. I'm going to give you a little bit of sneak peek, kind of let you know where I am with that. And then we're going to clear all this out. And I think I'm going to sort it at the top of that ribbon drawer dresser because it's a really great height. Doesn't hurt my back. And so I think that's what we're going to do. But let's go look at where we're at with the ribbon. Okay, so here we are with the current ribbon pile. It does look different because I was using that rectangular basket to sort in. If you'll remember, it was sitting in that corner, but I needed it for another project and it was the perfect size and container for that. So I actually swapped it out for this handled kind of Easter basket, kind of oval shaped basket. So nothing in these 2 Ziploc bags and that basket are new. That's all the same stuff because it was really piled there in the corner. So that's where we are with that. This container here, I also pulled this out of my cabinet yesterday. It's super heavy. It contains twine and there's some yarn and some different things in it. I'm in that bin all the time. I'm constantly pulling it out of the cabinet, but it's heavy, it's not convenient. I find then it sits on my desk for a while or it sits on the floor. So I just sort of had an idea that maybe it makes sense to live in this drawer or live over in this area. It would be much easier just to grab the blue twine or the red twine or that little Ziploc bag there, pull it over, and then I've been really good about cleaning my desk and putting everything away when I'm done with a specific project. But I realized I'm challenging myself because, okay, here's the little look-see in the drawer. I've spent, I don't even know how many hours, I should have kept track, taking all of those categories that we sorted in the last video, and I have categorized them. I've put them in little bundles. I have color-coded them in beautiful, beautiful rainbow array of organization. It is a thing of beauty. I'm just giving you a little sneak peek. I don't want to open the whole drawer because we'll do a big overview later. But you can see this bin over here on the left hand, in the left-hand corner. That is not a good bin for this drawer. It's way too high. Also because I discovered that I can stack. So let me come over here. Sorry for the camera, but if you can see here, so I have one of these like Dollar Tree baskets. In fact, all of this is stacked. So this is why I want those shoebox bins. I have one of the Dollar Tree bins down here, and then I have a shoebox that stacks right on top. And as you can see, there's lots of room there. Drawer closes really easy. So I only have that little corner there. And there's already, let me go over here, and there's already stuff in it. So that's my challenge. I know I'm not going to be able to get all of this, plus the twine is not likely to fit over here in the corner. But I will say that I was surprised once I organized and straightened everything out that it really condensed the area that the items were taking up. So I don't know. We will have to see. And I also kind of put it out to all my crafty friends on YouTube, all the friends that regularly come to Vintage Craft and Chat, and I said, oh, would you guys be interested in me just doing a live stream and getting through this last pile of sorting? Because frankly, it's tedious, it's boring, it's not very fun. Plus, I know I am going to need some hand holding because all of this is not likely to fit in that last section of drawer, and I am going to have to make some hard decisions. I mean, there's some really good stuff in here. A lot of vintage, a lot of really cool trims and things. So we will be doing a live. I apologize, I did it very last minute. I don't know the exact date, but I will put it up on the screen. But it is this coming Tuesday, actually tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. But it will be in the playlist to watch afterwards. But hopefully many of you will see the live stream pop up and you will come join us. I think it'll be fun. Who knows what we will find in here. So that's where we're at with that. And I really didn't come across a lot of trash, surprisingly, other than like rusty pins. You know, I took all the old rusty ones out and I put a lot of the new pins and, you know, maybe little bits of plastic and stuff. But with all of this, I didn't come across anything that I wanted to get rid of or was really trash or yucky. So I don't know, maybe that's a little bit surprising. I just have this bin here. This has been my working basket. It's worked out great. It has my pins, and I found some bigger twist ties up here, which I'm loving, to corral my ribbons and things. And then those are just the zippers that we pulled out that first time, and that whole bag, it just has zippers in it. We'll probably adding more things to that on the live stream. That's a lot. This is a mouthful. So I'm going to clean off this top. I'm just going to set all this stuff aside, and then I'm going to pull everything out from that cabinet, and then we will start going through and sorting it. I don't know what we're going to find, but it should be interesting. Okay, here we are. Cabinet is completely cleaned out, and now we will look at the contents. All right. Seems kind of crazy, right? All of that was in that little, well, no, not all of it. The glue was not in there. So there were a few things on top. Nothing is too surprising except for this necklace display stand. I had no idea that was in there. I couldn't even see it. That totally doesn't even make sense that it lives in there. Clearly, I shoved it in there. It just has kind of moved around. It's a great thing to display when I'm taking pictures of jewelry to list online. And of course, I used it a lot when I was doing vintage live sales on YouTube. So we'll have to find a new home for that. But first thing I'm going to do is go empty these bins on the other side of the room. I'm going to put the contents of them into my Etsy cabinet. Somebody needs to bring Frank home to their home. All this stuff is listed on Etsy. Isn't he wonderful? He's sort of hard to get rid of. He doesn't really go with a lot of the other items in my Halloween decor. He's sort of a one-off. I really couldn't even find anything about him online, but look at, oh my gosh, he even has metal bolts here. Can we see what that says? Oh, maybe I'll have to look and see if it says anything on the bolts. I don't know. Isn't he great? I sort of have a hard time getting rid of him, but again, there's only so much stuff I can put out and decorate with seasonally. So, in fact, there's only 2 things in this bin right here. So I'm gonna move and empty these bins, and then we'll have more room to sort the rest. Okay, bins are cleaned out. Everything has been rehomed and safely put away. I'm gonna set up my tripod, and then we will start looking at these categories a little bit closer. I'll move those bins off to the side and we'll have lots of room for sorting. Okay, so I made an executive decision. I actually brought back one of the bins because I'm thinking this would be good to store my glues in. I also noticed when I was pulling out this IKEA container is that it has a lid. Probably can't see down there, but it has a lid. So I'm thinking if I store things that are shorter and I'm able to put the lid on it, then perhaps I could maybe stack this on top. I don't know. We'll have to play around with it a little bit. We may have to change mid-cycle, but I think for now, I'm gonna see if I can store my glues in here. So those are nice and flush. And then here is some stickles. I know I have more stickles someplace else, but it sort of makes sense. They're glue-like product that has glitter in them, but I'm gonna stick these down in here and I'll probably add the other ones once I find those in the cabinet. This is empty. I'm gonna put this aside, and I think I'll put the lid, and I don't see any more glue. This is a fixative that my daughter Taylor uses more than I do, but I have grabbed it to use. So this is sort of, I guess it's glue-like. It makes sense for it to live in this cabinet. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep it over here to the side for just a bit. I'm going to go take this and put this in the cabinet over there just so that we can clear the way a little bit. Okay, so let's see. This needs to be rehomed. I have a bin, I think it was in here in the house because it didn't fit into the bin, so that's probably another bin that I need to go through, but I'm gonna set this aside, and I think that's okay to do that. Right away, I see something. So this was a cute little sign that was in Taylor's room for a lot of years when she was younger. She did club swim. She was on the swim team in high school. And this was a piece of decor in her room. And I had saved it thinking, well, I could paint it. I could do a little assemblage or something on it. I probably won't do that. I have so many amazing antique containers and vintage containers and receptacles to build assemblages on. So I'm actually gonna let this go. I'm going to donate it. I have a little bag here, a little Chipotle bag. So I'm gonna stick that right in there. I think somebody else could use it for decor without me upcycling it. Whoops, sorry about the noise. The other thing I'm seeing right away is I saved this jar of cornstarch because one of the projects I wanted to try was doing paper clay. So cornstarch is a really great thing. If you have molds, you can put the cornstarch into the molds and put the paper clay in, but guess what? I don't have any molds. I saved this. It was either from my mother-in-law's house or my mom's house, which was very, very expired. Yes, 2019. So I kept it just as a craft supply, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw the contents away, recycle the container, and if I ever do a project like that, I could probably easily pick some up from Dollar Tree. I think it's taking up too much room here. So I'm gonna put that aside. I had picked these containers up also to do a project a couple years ago on Vintage Craft and Chat. You know, I had stepped away for a while to help take care of my mother-in-law, and I never got around to that project. Maybe I will. This is kind of a project category, but maybe I can use these as containers in the meantime. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to make sense, but maybe let's put it back here and let's see. I don't know. That's my thought. They're awfully cute. I probably would even grab these if I was putting a gift together for a friend. These would be great little baskets. They're just from the Dollar Tree. I was going to paint them and do a fun project, but maybe we'll still do that. I think they're a good container, so let's stick those back there. I think for now I'm just going to stick that paint in there for now just to get it out of the way. What is this? So this is just a cute little scoop. I probably had it in here thinking it would look cute if I painted it, maybe did a little decoupage or something on it. Oh, maybe I possibly would. Let's stick that in there. Let's see, will this fit in here? So this is that little paper thing. Let's see if that fits down in there. Perhaps those two things, just to sort of corral them. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. So those are projects. This is also a project that I really want to do, I think this spring. In fact, maybe it would be a good idea if I pick one of these projects and I can do a tutorial video on it or a craft with me, maybe a recorded video. But I picked this up at the thrift store a couple years ago. Again, this is one of those things I picked up and didn't do anything with, but I want to decoupage this. I want to put napkins, and I have a bunch of like IOD transfers. I don't know. I could just picture it with vintage sewing patterns decoupaged on top and some cool things, images layered over the top. And I would like to use this in the bedroom, I think, to hold my necklaces and longer necklaces. So this will definitely be something that we will work on. I don't know where to put that. Let's put that there. Let's move this stuff over here. So these are projects. And then I see one other project, I think, in here, which is this box. And it has gotten all dinged up because I painted it with black chalk paint. And this was actually a box that had belonged to my mom. So I already did the painting. I probably can come in here and just sand it a little bit, but I was thinking it would be a cool box to have in my craft area. And again, kind of the same thought process, chalk paint base, and then maybe come in here with some IOD transfers, some butterflies, something like that. I think I do want to complete that. So this is my little project area. I think that's not too bad. Would those things fit into here? This won't fit into there. But these would fit in here. Does that make sense? Does that make a little room? I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense to do that. Is that a little bit more compact? Okay, so we have that there. All right, now let's see what we have. I have a lot of containers of DIY chalk paint. This one is completely dry, but you can reconstitute it. You can take the powders and add water and you can reconstitute it. So I'm not sure, I don't think I want to get rid of that. We may use it maybe for one of these projects. I love this color. In fact, this is my favorite one, which is, oh, what is the color? Bohemian blue. Gorgeous. If you guys follow me on Instagram, that like kind of antique drop leaf table that I posted on my Instagram page that has the botanicals and the butterfly IOD transfers on it, I use this color. So I think we're gonna keep that. Let's see what we have here. I'm just gonna kind of pull stuff out. So this is all chalk paint. This is more, this is really dry, but I think the same thing. I bought this to paint a really cool mid-century cabinet that we picked up on the side of the road in my daughter's room, and it turned out so cute. She keeps all her craft supplies, but it's like a mid-century cabinet, and it has sliding, I think, glass doors on the front with a shelf inside. It's super great storage. So, but I think I'm gonna keep this for a little bit, especially if I need to reconstitute this, and then we can, you know, touch up her cabinet. This is all Rub and Buff. I had picked all that up at, it's in Pasadena, but it's sort of a thrift store for art and craft supplies. In fact, I'd love to make another field trip over there this summer probably. So that's good. These knobs are in here. This again was sort of a furniture project. I didn't end up using them, but I think I'm going to put these out in the garage. We have a place where we have knobs we've taken off of other cabinets and switched out. So I think I'm going to put that out there, and maybe we'll find a fun project. It would be kind of cute maybe to put one of these on the top of this little box. I think might look cute too. So these are going out in the garage. It doesn't make sense for them to be in here. Back when everything was shut down and we were housebound, I did a lot of furniture upcycle projects. I just really enjoyed it. It was a great creative outlet. So a lot of this stuff is from back then, the chalk paint and whatnot, and these furniture type things. What's in here? Oh, okay. We have some of these in the kitchen. They're the little protectors that you put on the bottom of chairs or behind cabinet doors. So these will go into the kitchen. We already have a spot for those. Oh, here's more of those. Furniture glides, same thing. I'm going to put those with the protectors because that's where I would go look for something like that. I think those probably came from my mom's house, is my guess. I'm like, oh, look at these. Okay, this is just a plain white knob, which would be awfully cute on that box, but look at that. I think we'll use this. I don't even know where I got that. I might have picked it up for that box project. Wouldn't that be cute? I'll have to see if I can make that work on the top. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put that down in the box. Let's put that down in the box so that we have that. And then this will go with those other knobs. It'll go out in the garage into the bin we have out there. Okay. All right, I think we're doing good. This is just acrylic paint. Okay, so that's chalk paint. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull everything out and put it in categories. Okay, I think I have things pretty much categorized. The bin, oops, one more thing in here. One of these paint palettes. I think I'm going to clean out the bin, and then we'll start deciding. We'll go over the categories and start deciding what can fit back in. Oops, I found a stain marker pin. I'm gonna put that over by the Rub and Buff. And what else is in here? I think this is trash. This is just an overview about this Country Chic brand. Okay, we are all nice and clean. Let's see, this is trash. I'm gonna put that aside. What else did I cover? Okay, so this is cool. This is, you know, one of those things that you keep because you think, oh, it's super cool. That would give great dimension. You could use it for stenciling, that kind of thing. I think I'm gonna show this to Taylor and see what she thinks. She is doing a lot of mixed media this semester in college, so she may be able to do something with this, but otherwise I think we should probably let it go. I'm also going to ask her about this palette. It certainly will. It won't fit in there and close. I'm also going to ask her about this palette if she thinks this is worthwhile to keep. So those are questions. These are like vase filler beads that Taylor had picked up for a 3D project that she had to do last year in college. I don't know. This may be something we donate because I don't think I would use it. Vase fillers, floating pearls, Christmas decoration, wedding centerpieces, floating candles, floral decorations. Her project turned out really cool that she used it for. So I think these three things I'm going to stick down in this bag with that swing sign, and I'll ask her about those. This is wood filler this can right away go out in the garage. Again, I don't know why this was in here. We finished a big bookcase that belonged to my mother-in-law, and it's now in Taylor's room. We restained it and sanded it, so maybe we used it for that, but this should be out in the garage. Oh, what are we down to? I think I will put, this is the other thing. I probably would look for this in the garage and not in here. I'm gonna put this in the garage too, because we have a bin that has all that kind of stuff, kind of household paint. And these though I use for crafting, so these will stay in here. The other thing that I found, Taylor and I have done little local workshops for friends at parties and things like that. Taylor's done a couple, and I know I have probably one coming up soon. In fact, this was a little project that we did Christmas. So I want to keep these pencils because these are great. We bought them for that, to do a workshop. And then we have these little paint brushes here. Maybe there's some paintbrushes in here that go in here, but I do want to save these. Maybe I'll stick them in here for now, and we'll figure out where those fit. But I don't want to get rid of those and then have to turn around and buy them for another workshop. In fact, I can tell some of these can go in here. These are just sanding blocks that I use when I'm doing assemblages and that kind of thing too. So I definitely want to keep this. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to start stacking these chalk paint bins down in here in these paints and kind of see where we're at. These are kind of a problem. These are too tall to fit in to the cabinet, but I may have a bin in the other cabinet that I'm using for something else. It's currently storing envelopes, and I maybe don't need that going forward in that cabinet. So I might go grab that and see if we can lay these down flat rather than having them stick up. So, okay, I'm just gonna play a little bit and fast forward. Okay, this is super exciting. I'm gonna take you guys off the tripod and then just give you an overview, but I'm standing here, I'm looking at this stuff and I'm looking in the cabinet. We're gonna have so much room in there. Okay, I am totally geeking out. All of that paint fit into the bin. And look over there. Whoops, I think I hit something. Look there's that other glue bin that I put in there. Look how much room is in that. And that bin may even stack on the top of this one. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. And I have to tell you, I found the same thing when I was doing the ribbon drawer, as I was consolidating things, and it's kind of like Tetris. I was finding that I had much more room than I anticipated. So this is another one of those wins. I'm kind of thinking out loud. I mean, these even fit in here. I think the lid's gonna go on. We need to, well, should I test it first? Okay, no, it does not fit snug because the lid it sits down in to the bin. But let's see if we take those out. Oh, it still doesn't fit. What is preventing it? I think this big Waverly here. I think this big Waverly is preventing it. All right, let me play with this a little bit. Okay, that fits if we take that big Waverly chalk paint out, so that's good. Let me test and see if I can get these watercolors to fit in here, I'm sure. Ta-da! Okay, those fit, all the paint fit in there, except for this one. So I would call that a huge win. Well, it seems like it's up a little bit, but I'm gonna say that that's okay. So what are we gonna do next? I think I'm gonna go stick it in the cabinet and then let's see what that looks like. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that. All the paint, all the glue, except for that one Waverly, is in there. Look how much room I have. Oh my gosh, this is very exciting. So let me see. So I think what I'm gonna go do is grab that sort of long white container that is currently holding envelopes. I don't necessarily need to hold envelopes in it. I just had it on hand. So let's see if we can fit the paintbrushes in there. All right, wah, wah, wah. They do not fit in here. And I know I don't want to ruin the tips of them, even though some of these look like they're pretty much, but most of these tall ones do not fit. So, do I want to use that down in there? Maybe we will keep this bin down in there. I think it looks awfully nice and clean. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through here and look at these, sort them. I think some need to go in this bag. Let me do that real quick. I think I'm pretty sorted. This is trash. Just an old piece of sanding paper. These need to go out into the garage. Again, I think that was when we were redoing that cabinet. Let's see. I'm going to get this. I'm going to put this, I have a little trash bin here. I'm going to put that in the trash bin. Okay, so let's see. If we use this bin, I'm going to put this fixative. Taylor does get at that quite a bit. I'm going to put this chalk paint back here. This is really handy to have water, especially when you're working with the chalk paint. That will fit nicely in there. These are all the paintbrushes that we use for those craft parties. Those can go in there. And then let's see here. I think all these paintbrushes I'm going to try to put back in here. I do think it is nice to have them standing up. It protects the bristles, so that works great. These, it's good just to have these on hand if you need to pounce or do something. And I've also, these work really great if you're trying to do background papers for junk journaling. So you can stick this in the paint and then you can do designs and texturing. So these work out really great for that. I think those will fit down in. I want to keep those. Those are just like those cheapy Dollar Tree. This is going to go over to my craft desk. I was just using this, or do I want to keep that in here? It was down in here. Maybe I'll keep it down in here. This was just an old card of my mom's. I kind of liked having it in my crafting area. I'm going to stick that down in there too. That's really great if you're working on background pages with paint. You can put the paint on and then wipe it around with the card. So I think I'll keep that. This I will find a new home for in the kitchen or somewhere. This will get rehomed. Okay, now where are we at? Will this fit down in here? It does. In fact, I'm going to put that more towards the back. I think this gets pulled out more often. Okay, now I have these things. These are more, I think these are the sticks that came or come with the IOD molds. So I'm actually going to rehome these. I'm going to stick these back in with the transfers themselves. That makes sense. And then these are also for paint, like, so maybe these should go down in here. These are also for, you know, little spatulas and stuff. And those fit very nicely in there. So now we just have these really tall ones. Okay, so that's not too bad. I found the shorter ones. They sort of snug down in there a little bit better. And I think this kind of protects, oh, should they be going that way? Okay, I'm gonna put them that direction because we'll slide this in and then they won't get messed up, and then the fixative will be in the front. Okay, I'm gonna go put that away. Oh my gosh, it is a thing of beauty. Okay, so these will stack. I don't know if she's gonna stand up. We'll see when we go over there. So these can go back in. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh, this should probably go in that basket. I'm gonna I'm gonna put that in. All right, I'm gonna go put these in, and then we'll go over what is getting rehomed, and we'll look in the cabinet. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, so this is what we ended up with: trash going into the recycle. This drawer will go back into my IKEA cabinet. These are all the things that are being rehomed, which is actually all in the garage, and we have bins designated in there for all that kind of stuff. And then we just have this kind of one random thing. So I'll ask Taylor about that because she painted it. Oh, actually, I'll put that in here because I need to ask Taylor about some of those other painting and the little bead things. That's really good. Okay, I'm gonna take you off the tripod and show you the cabinet. Look at that. This is an absolute thing of beauty. Look how much room is left in this cabinet. All of our paint, except for that one big tall Waverly, is down in that bin. There's all my glue. Super quick and easy to grab that out. Everything else fit down into this bin. And I actually really like those for this cabinet. You know, depending on what else we put in here, maybe it may be worthwhile to pick up a few more of those because they're nice and slim. The thing I need to avoid is putting things in front of other things, right? Sometimes I get bad about, like, you know, if I put something like that there. It's a little project pile that we will be working on going into spring and summer. I'll pick one, maybe one a month, and do a little video on that. I think that would be fun. In fact, let me know in the comments below. Do you guys like all that kind of stuff? I used to do a lot of holiday decor, not a lot of home decor, but to me, it's all kind of comes into that realm of crafting, mixed media, that kind of stuff. So those will eventually go away as we do those projects. And then we have this whole section over here to fill up with things. And I'm thinking, as I've been going through here, I just get little things that pop into my mind because as we're moving things around, part of this reorganization is to figure out where it makes most sense for things to be, where they're more accessible, and have things I get at more often close by. My thought with this, we'll have to see once we get into that drawer, but I have a lot of wooden things like spools that I use for my, you know, like vintage thread spools. I have little wooden die cuts that I use for bases of things. And right now, those are in that dresser that's closer to my table, and I don't get to them that often. So, right, I think it kind of makes sense to have all the wood pieces live down in here. And some of them are even in the craft cabinet behind me. I don't get at them often. I want to have my papers and my books and my junk journal supplies at hand because that's the type of crafting that I do most often. So yeah, this is a ton of space. I'm so happy. I hope this video was inspiring. This is stuff I've put off doing for years. As you can tell, I'm a big shover. I shove things away. I don't like a lot of clutter and things out. So I tend to be somebody that shoves things into drawers and cabinets. But look how much room we created, plus we found things that I didn't remember I had. And frankly, if I was looking for knobs, if I was looking for some of those paintbrushes and things, I definitely would be looking out in the garage first. I wouldn't be looking here, and then it would just create this whole hunt. So I'm very, very happy with today, with this episode 4. And I thank you all for hanging out with me. Do leave a comment below if you have any suggestions on how I've organized things today, or anything you can think of that would make this more organized, perhaps more convenient for pulling things out. I don't know. I always think you guys come up with such awesome, great suggestions. So let me know. And I will see you in episode 5. Thank you for being along for the ride. Okay, friends, I will see you soon. Thank you.